about sharing with you a big part of my martial arts training. And what helps me to grow as a martial artist, but also into the person that I want to be showing up in the world. Who remembers the first time you walked into a martial arts studio? Were you younger? Were you older? What was your first time experience? Anyone? Yeah.
About 10 years old.
Same with me. I was 11 years old. And I was a shy, timid little girl. And I walked into that martial arts studio. And here were these students who were strong and confident. And they were kicking high. And they were punching strong. And they were keen-eyed with confidence. And I had no idea how I was going to ever develop into something like that. Now, what we're going to talk about today is the martial mindset. One of the very important things about the martial mindset is that we recognize that we have a wisdom mind and an emotional mind. My emotional mind would have told me to walk out that door, stay a timid, shy little girl, and never walk back in. Fortunately for me, my martial arts Sifu, Tang Farrar, not only was training our bodies, but also focused on training our mind. And you all know this as warriors, as martial artists yourself who are here to learn and here to improve yourself, that it is a mental battle every bit as much as a physical one. When the Shaolin monks first started martial arts, thousands of years ago, they also recognized this. While they were creating systems to protect their communities from outside invaders, their monasteries and themselves for self-defense, they recognized that there was a battle that was more important, a battle that we fight every single day, and it isn't one that is inside our mind. And so the Shaolin monks created a system called the Wu. Dr. Yang Jun Ning breaks it down into Western terms, and we're going to be talking about what he calls the martial moralities. So what really makes a martial artist? Is it how we kick, how we punch, how we do our forms, how we spar? Well, we all know martial artists who are handicapped. We all know martial artists who can't perform at competition levels, but it doesn't make us any less of a martial artist if we have this mindset. So the 10 martial moralities are broken into two different groups. The moralities of mind and the moralities of dream. The moralities of mind have to do with our personal motivation and how we show up in the world very personally. The moralities of deed have to do with our relationships. Our relationship with the world around us, our communities, our families, our fellow students, our masters, but most importantly, the relationship with ourselves. I'll be talking a little bit about why that is so important. The 5 moralities of mind are courage, endurance, perseverance, patience, and will. The 5 moralities of deed are trust, loyalty, righteousness, respect, and humility. Let's look at the first morality of mind, courage. Here's a funny story. At this school, there was a professor who was notorious for giving an extremely challenging essay at the end of his class. And the essay had a very short amount of time and a long number of words that needed to be put on that paper in that time. And if that number of words did not appear on that paper in that time frame, the student would fail. And everyone was scared to death of this essay because so many people had failed. So this one student named Tom goes into the class, and this paper comes to turn. And everyone's sitting down, and the professor emphasizes, if you don't get the number of words on the paper, by the time ends, you fail. So here comes the bell, and the students are writing as fast as they can. They're sweating, and they don't know if they're going to get it all on into paper in time. And Mom's sitting there, and then the time's up. Everyone's handing in their papers, and Hong hands in a paper that is completely blank. Except for at the very bottom, he writes, "This is courage." So, that's just a funny story of courage. But for a quick definition, we need to take notes. Courage is the ability to control our fear and make the right choice despite the fear we feel. Some people would go so far as to say you cannot have courage without having fear. If we're doing something that doesn't require us to overcome a fear, is it really courage at all? Maya Angelou says, "Courage is the most important of all the virtues, because without courage, you cannot practice any other virtue consistently." What do you think? Let's go to the virtue of truth. Are there times when we have to have courage to tell the truth consistently? What kind of courage do we have to be persistent in our training or to show up in our competitions? When we have to face a competition, that everyone's going to perform their set and that we can lose. That's a real fear as a martial artist that we have to face to show up and do our best. How about when we're sparring, especially when we're used to it? Is there a fear that this guy who's been training for a long time is going to probably kill us? Absolutely. As a martial artist, we must have courage. Fear is a reaction. Courage is a decision. These are words from Winston Churchill. Vince Lombardi says, and the man on the top of the mountain did not fall. We have to have courage to climb our mountains. We have to show up in class and train hard. The next morality of mind is patience. A quick definition of patience is the calm acceptance that things can happen in a different way when you have in mind, but having a good attitude about it. Have you ever heard someone say, I don't like how this is turning out. You know, I should have gotten my rank sooner, but I guess I'll be patient about it. That's not true patience. True patience is the attitude that comes with the acceptance. In martial arts, we talk a lot about being like water, being accepting. They say that water erodes rock, not because water is strong, but because it is patient. The next martial morality of mind is perseverance. Perseverance is the hard work you do after you get tired of doing the hard work you already did. Effort only releases its reward when we refuse to quit. How many of us have been training and are getting tired and maybe a little sore, and our Sifu says, one more time. We have to have perseverance to continue. My Sifu was notorious for saying this. We'd be standing and he'd be like, we lost strength training and stance training. We'd be already standing there for 3 minutes and our muscles are starting to fatigue and ache, and let's do another 3 minutes. You have to have perseverance. Continue the hard work after you've already done the hard work. The next morality of mind is endurance. Endurance is the choice that when life gets hard, we get stronger. Life isn't ever going to get easier. And we have all seen people who are trying to hide from life as it gets hard. People who have come across an adversity, and because of that, they want to go into a little shell. Life isn't going to get easier in the little shell either. It's actually going to get harder. They're getting weaker, and so the next adversity that comes might not be as big as the first one that sent them into hiding. but they won't be prepared to face it. And martial artists, we have to recognize that when our training gets hard, we have to rise up and get stronger. As martial artists in the community with the martial mindset, we have to choose that when we come across something that gets hard, we aren't going to buckle. We're going to show that we have been training our minds and bodies to be of sterner stuff, and we can rise to the occasion. Here's a story from Dr. Manny Main's book, The Essence of White Crane, Martial Power in Qigong, demonstrating perseverance, patience, and endurance. So in China, old China, there was a man named Hao Yi. And Hao Yi had a vision. He wanted to become one of the greatest archers in the land. And so he went to the greatest archery master of the land, and he asked him, "Will you teach me?" And the archery master says, "For the next 3 years, every morning and every evening, I want you to light a candle and watch it burn down all the way to the end." Hao Yi wanted his vision very badly, so for the next 3 years, he lit that candle and he watched it burn down every morning and every evening. He goes back to his master and he says, "Okay, I've watched the candle burn, will you teach me now? I want to become an archery master." And the archery master says, "The next 3 years, I want you to watch the shuttle on your wife's knee. It's very fast. You should watch it every single day for the next 3 years. And then you can pick up." And so Hao Yi is frustrated, and he's disappointed, he wants to shoot some arrows, wants to hit the bullseye every time. But he wants his goal very much. So he goes back home, and for the next 3 years, he watches the shuttle on his wife's knee. 6 years pass, and he goes back to his master, the archery master, and says, "I've watched the candle burn, and I've watched my wife at her knee. Can you now teach me the secret to becoming a great master?" And the archery master says, "For the next 3 years, I want you to make 10 rice baskets out of rattan every single day." Rice basket makers could only make about 5 a day because rattan is such a difficult reed to manipulate. And when Hao Yi went back and started doing this task, his hands began to bleed and his shoulders and his arms ached. But he had endurance, and he endured through it until his hands became strong, and his shoulders and his arms became toughened. And then by the time the 3 years was up, he could do as many as 20 baskets a day. And he goes back to his master. This is the last time, right? He's so done of doing what he feels like are mindless activities for the last 9 years. And he knocks on the door. "Can you teach me now? I've watched the candle. I've watched the shuttle. I've made the baskets." And the archery master said, "You're not. I've taught you all I can." And Hao Yi is so frustrated. And as the archery master turns away, Hao Yi thinks, "This guy's a fraud. He never was a great archery master, and I'm going to prove it." And Hao Yi shoots an arrow at the archery master's back. The archery master feels that he has been shot at, and he quickly turns and shoots his own arrow, and they split. And Hao Yi goes, "Oh, it's just luck." And he shoots another one for archery master, and the archery master again splits it down the center. Third time's the charm. Hao Yi shoots another one and realizes that the archery master doesn't have any more arrows left. But the archery master grabs a twin, and he shoots the arrow and it splits down the center. Gotta love fables. And it was then that Hao Yi realized that through watching the candle, he developed the patience of a calm mind. It was through watching the shuttle that he had the perseverance of watching a fast-moving object and being able to focus on it. And it was through the endurance of creating those baskets to make his hands and his body strong that gave him the ability to have stable, steady movements as he used his archery skills. And he just watched the archery master and said, "I understand. The only thing that I can do now is practice." So that's an extreme example. It's a really fun story. But as a martial artist, We need to make sure that we aren't going to give up if we're not getting to our goal the way that we think that we should get to it. We don't give up when we get tired, and we get stronger when it gets hard. The last morality of mind is will. A quick definition of will is the ability to do a difficult or unpleasant thing because the thing that you are trying to achieve is better in the long run. They say that willpower is a finite resource. I see this in my life, and I also see this with my clients as we're trying to achieve goals as I'm training. Now just think, when you wake up in the morning after you've made some kind of New Year's resolution or made a goal, that first morning that you wake up, maybe it's to eat better, right? In the morning you feel great and you're eating your fruit and you're eating your egg and you're doing well. But as the day goes by and the stress of life is using your willpower up, when is the time of day that we are most susceptible to making choices that aren't in alignment with what we want to do? In the evening, right? That's when the TV stays on a couple hours longer than we intend to. That's when we eat that extra donut or piece of cake that we know is not towards our goals. Our willpower runs out. But there's hope in this, and this is scientifically proven. And this is an incredible tool I hope that you can use when you look at willpower and running out of it. Willpower is part of the judgment center of the brain. It's in this frontal lobe. And they have done studies to show that as we practice using our willpower, that part of our brain actually grows. So how is it that these NFL athletes or world-class martial artists seem to have unlimited willpower? And the answer is that they've grown that muscle. Just like we can grow our muscles by working out, if we work on your willpower, we can also increase our willpower's capability. Bruce Lee, world-class athlete, right? He knew this. He had that martial mindset. He says, what is defeat? Nothing but education. Nothing but the first step to something better. So when we do run out of willpower, when we make that bad choice, right, that's not in alignment with our goals, lots of us are tempted to say, I just can't, and give up. But if we use that as education to recognize that this is my habit, and I can break this habit, and I'm going to put a strategy in place so I can't continue in this habit, we've learned something. We've learned something about ourselves, and we've learned something about how to improve ourselves. It's just education. What is super important about improving our willpower as well is to have a vision. We have to make sure that we are excited about who we're going to become. We have to be really excited about who we're going to become. And if you don't have a vision of who you want to become, then take some time every day in meditation or quiet time and think about that. Some people say, make the person that you want to be in 10 years your hero. So that way you can never achieve it, but you'll always be chasing it. You'll always be inspired. And every day, once we have that vision, we need to take some time to make that vision more clear in our minds. And it will actually help us achieve it. We'll start to recognize things in our environment that are going to help us. So those are the moralities of mind. They are courage, patience, perseverance, endurance, and will. The moralities of deed. These are the moralities that have to do with our relationships with others. The first one is loyalty. What a concept in today's world, right? Quick definition for loyalty is faithfulness that is steadfast in the face of any temptation to renounce, desert, or betray. Marcus Brutus' betrayal of Julius Caesar, Judas Iscariot's betrayal of Jesus Christ, Benedict Arnold's betrayal of the Revolution, Edmund's betrayal of his siblings to the White Witch in the Chronicles of Narnia, Dennis Leary's betrayal in Jurassic Park, jeopardizing many lives, Mondegle's betrayal of Edmund Dantes in Count of Monte Cristo, Gollum's betrayal of Frodo and Sam to Shelob in The Lord of the Rings, Robert the Bruce's betrayal of William Wallace in Braveheart, and Anakin Skywalker's betrayal of the Republic in Star Wars. If any of you have ever followed in these stories and witnessed these betrayals and really was excited for the hero, you know how that betrayal can turn your stomach. Loyalty is a long-term commitment, and betrayal tears down our communities. Maybe you've experienced betrayal in your life personally, and you know how wrong it is. As martial artists, if we have loyalty, we will have a strong community. And we all know how betrayal will break things down. Joseph Botha says, loyalty means I am with you, whether you are wrong or right. But I will tell you when you are wrong, and I will help you get it right. We have to have loyalty to understand where someone can misstep, but that we're not going to desert, we're not going to betray. We're going to remain loyal and help them get it right. We need to be those kind of people in this world. The next morality of D is trust. A quick definition for trust is to have a short reliance on the character, ability, strength, or truth of someone. Someone worthy of placing one's confidence. In a martial arts school, we have to trust each other as we are practicing moves. We have to trust our sifus that they know that our bodies can be injured if they push the body too hard. We have to trust they're not going to lay us flat on our back. We have to trust our fellow students as we train with them. Trust is important for martial artists between the student and the master, between the student and the student. But trust is also extremely important with ourselves, in our relationships with ourselves. We have to recognize that we do have a relationship with ourselves. So when someone has broken your trust, do you feel like going back to that person and expecting to be able to trust them again? Okay. So if we break the trust to ourselves, can we trust ourselves again? And this has a lot to do, again, with helping ourselves develop that willpower. So let's say that our goal was, every single morning, at least until I get that rank, I'm going to wake up 5 a.m. and I'm going to train from 5 to 6. Okay, so you make that choice as your sifu's telling you, hey, you're not really at the right place you need to be at. I want that belt, I want that belt. But the next morning, the alarm clock goes off. Okay, we have a choice. Hit snooze, or are we going to get up and train like we said? If we get up as we told ourselves we're going to do, we build trust in ourselves. And the next day gets a little bit easier, and the next day gets a little bit easier. This is why they say it takes 30 days to create a habit. Because you created yourself that willpower and that trust in yourself that you can do it. And the more that we keep our word to ourselves, the more powerful we are. And the more we can tell ourselves what we're going to do, and then we can commit and drive ourselves to it. On the other hand, 5 a.m., the alarm goes off and we hit snooze. How much easier is it the next day to hit snooze? We've already broken our own word to ourselves right after making a resolution once. So if we do it one more time, it's a big deal. And now we are not doing what we told ourselves to do, and what have we just done? We've taken away our power. And then the next time you try to make a resolution, how much easier will it be to break that resolution to yourself? Here's a quick story demonstrating trust. There was a general. He was the greatest general in the army, but it was time for him to step down. He had a rival and everyone knew about it. They kind of clashed with their power, but he was the main general. And the king comes to him and he says to the general, "Who should take your place?" And the head general says, "My rival." And the king says, "I know you guys never got along. What's the deal?" And he says, "Look, he has the leadership skills. He has what it takes. He knows how this whole army works. He's the best one to take my place." Well, before the rival could take his place, the happened and the rival passed. And so the king goes back to the general and says, "Who should take your place now?" And the general says, "My son." And the king said, "You know, a lot of people think that it's just favoritism, that it's your son. But because you were looking out for the best of the army and suggested your Bible first. I trust your choice. And the son became the next general and he would be great. So martial arts, we need to show that we are trustworthy. We need to prove that we are trustworthy to ourselves, to our masters, to our other students, and become trustworthy for them too. Okay, the next one is the morality of deed, righteousness. Oh, who uses that word anymore, right? Righteousness. Kind of feels stuffy just saying it, right? Righteousness sounds like someone who thinks that they've got it all together, and you know that they don't have it all together. Let's try to free this word from our cultural stigma so that we can use it as a tool to help us be powerful again. A quick definition of righteousness is doing what you know you should do, refusing to do what you know you shouldn't do, and thereby living guilt-free. How many of us have done something that we know we shouldn't have done and had to live with the guilt of it? I guess I'm the only one. That's okay. What does guilt feel like? It's stressful. You feel stressed out about it. You know what you did was wrong, and maybe you're worried about who's going to find out. You're worried about the consequences, and you're disappointed with yourself. Here's something to think about. We all have values, right? Especially here in the martial arts community. We have values of discipline. We have values of respect. And we all have values, but if our lives aren't walking out those values, we aren't living in integrity to ourselves. And then we're going to feel out of integrity with ourselves. That creates a lot of stress in our lives. So to live righteously is just to live out our values and to be really clear about that and what's important to you. Oh man, I love this story. Okay. So there was a grandmother, a son, a daughter-in-law, and a grandson who were living together. And the grandmother poured her life into raising her son. She never complained. She did everything to promote his well-being. She gave anything she could. She gave her life to raising her son. And he is married, and as grandmother is older, she has a problem where she can't stop shaking. It's like a Parkinson's condition. And as it progresses in this condition, as she's sitting at the table with the family, she can't help but to spill her food. And occasionally, she drops a bowl and breaks it. And the daughter-in-law is so frustrated by this, and she's saying, "How can I live a sophisticated life when your mother is spilling her food and breaking my dishes?" And she keeps on going on about it, and it's disgusting me, and I can't even eat when she's around. And so finally, they decide the grandmother's going to eat at her own table by herself and use a bowl that already cracked so that when she brings the other part because and the grandson sees all this happening, and in his child's mind, he knows that this is not right. And so he goes to his grandmother and he says, "I have a plan. Tonight at dinner, I want you to make it look like an accident, but break your bowl." The mother says, "Why do you want me to do that?" He says, "Just trust me, I want you to do it." And so when no one was looking at dinner the next night, the grandmother drops her bowl and breaks it. And before the daughter-in-law can stand up and become all excited about that, the grandson stands up. And he says, "Grandmother, why did you break that bowl? I was hoping to use that for my mother when she got old." And the tables literally just flipped. And the daughter-in-law and son saw what they had done and felt the guilt of not living in integrity of their values. And of course, the grandmother was humiliated at the family dinner table. Okay, the second to the last morality of deed is respect. A quick definition for respect is to consider worthy or of high regard, to recognize the worth of a person, and show that through interactions with that person. Okay, respect. Have you ever met someone who is not worth respect? Aside from what we might say about criminals and things like this, but still, they are worth our respect. Every single human being is worthy of our respect. Now, we have all experienced people treating us with disrespect. And just on a very relational level, when somebody disrespects you, what do you feel like doing back? Same thing, exactly. So when we show disrespect, we also create disrespect unless that person makes a real conscious choice to show respect. It's very important to show respect to our masters so we can learn, and for our students so that we can work together. And the feeling of respecting someone is an amazing feeling, isn't it? When you find someone you can really look up to, what does it feel like to be inspired? Does it just make life seem easier when you're inspired? That's why it's so important to have a vision, find things that inspire you. So to illustrate this, quick story. There was a master samurai, and he was very successful fighting, but he wanted to learn more about heaven and hell. And so he goes to the Zen master, and he says to the Zen master, I would like you to teach me about heaven and hell. And the Zen master says, what? You want me to teach you about heaven? Why would you need to learn about heaven and hell? What do you think that you can handle as a samurai master? Anything that I can tell you about heaven and hell, you're just stupid. And he goes on and on berating him. And the samurai master, who's used to having honor and respect, is getting angrier and angrier until that's enough, and he draws his sword. He's going to take that Zen master out. And the Zen master steps back and says, that's hell. That feeling of total disrespect is like hell. And when the samurai master realized how artfully the Zen master answered his question, he was completely inspired, and his countenance changed, and the Zen master saw his death and that's just a great Chinese fable about how seriously respect and disrespect can arouse feelings inside of us. We are all warriors. We are all here training and learning because being a strong warrior is something that we want to become. But we have to make sure that we're respecting ourselves as well. We have to make sure that we're respecting our bodies. We all know what it means to not respect our bodies, right? How about in our food choices? When we are eating one too many donuts, are we respecting our bodies? Are we doing something for our bodies that make our bodies stronger? Are we showing our bodies that our bodies are worthy of being the best they can be? When we're looking at our time, are we respecting that we have a limited amount of time, and time is the only resource that we can't get more of in this life? And we're throwing it away, or are we respecting it that we can become who we can become? And when we train, are we training in a way that's respecting ourselves? When you see someone and they're like, yeah, are they respecting their training? Are they recognizing that this is an opportunity for them to become better martial artists? When we're training, we need to do everything that we can and respect that training. How about when others treat us with disrespect? Yes, we don't want to inspire more disrespect by disrespecting them. But do we allow someone to treat us with disrespect repeatedly? Or does it come a time when we need to have a serious talk with someone who's not treating you with respect and say, hey, that's not okay. That is not how you treat me. If you want to treat me like that, then we need to do something different. Okay, so there's one more moral morality, and that's the morality of deed called humility. Humility is the freedom from pride or arrogance. When we are humble, we are always looking for a way to better ourselves. Confucius goes as far as to say, as if 3 people walk by, one person can be his master. And I know that I don't think that any of us are quite at Confucius' level. There's a Chinese proverb that says, even as there is sky beyond the sky, there is a man beyond the man. None of us can ever know anything, and so we can never stop learning. We can never consider ourselves at a point where we're above learning. That's super important in martial arts to recognize. Like, what's your name again? Sorry. Rick. As Rick was saying earlier, every style has something different flavor, and there's something that we can learn from everyone. This is one of my favorite stories, and this one I think of all the time. Maybe some of you have known it already, but hopefully a little demonstration will make it maybe more clear and you can stick along. So there was a student, and he was very well renowned, and he was a fantastic fighter, and he had won many battles and competitions. But he thinks he's going to go and talk to a grandmaster and see if he can teach him anything. And so he knocks on the door of the grandmaster, and this is what he tells him: "Hey, I know a lot, but you can teach me something I'm here to learn from you." And so the grandmaster brings him inside of the house and sits him down, and he says, I'm going to make some tea, and he makes some tea and puts it in the kettle, and he starts to pour the tea into the cup, and it starts to fill up the cup, and it's halfway, and it goes all the way to the brim, and the master keeps on pouring. And the student says, "Master, what are you doing? You're overflowing the cup." And the master says, "This is like your mind. You already think you know everything there is to know. I can't put anything more inside of you." So each of us have to recognize that we always have room to grow. There's always a way to improve. We can never hold in our mind everything that we've ever learned or every perspective, because that we have humility while we do this. You guys know how it feels to be humiliated. And there are wrong ways for you to be corrected, and there are right ways for us to be corrected. But think of this way. If we have so much pride and arrogance and someone tries to correct us, that will immediately make us feel humiliated. But if we have the humility to learn and someone corrects us, then we recognize that this person is actually trying to help us, and we can grow through that instead of being sad. So those are the 10 martial moralities. I've used them in tools in my life ever since my people taught me them. And I've been sharing them with other people for over 10 years now. The moralities of mind, courage, patience, perseverance, endurance, and will. The moralities of deed, trust, loyalty, righteousness, respect, and humility. With these tools to all, they'll help us to become better martial artists, as well as better people in our families and our communities. As Leonardo da Vinci says, one can have no greater mastery than the mastery of oneself. So let's be aware that we have an emotional mind that will have us leave a situation that makes us uncomfortable. We have an emotional mind that will have us lash out in disrespect when somebody isn't showing us respect. But we have a choice to draw on the wisdom mind as well, and to make those better choices so that we can live with righteousness, that we can live free of guilt, we can really be the kind of martial artists and person